Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Daily Encoding. So this class I'll teach you on how to connect your PHP application with any APIs on the web. So we're going to use curl to do this. And first of all, what is curl? Curl is a PHP library and a command line tool that helps us to send files and also download data over HTTP and FTP. It supports proxies. You can transfer data and retrieve data over SSL connections. You can use it natively on PHP. You don't have to download anything using some dependency managers like Composer, for example. So we're going to connect to this API, JSON placeholder. It's a fake API just to make tests. And here we have curl documentations if you want to take a look on it. Okay. So the first step you'll have to take is to make sure curl is not commented on your php.ini. So here in the server you're gonna look for php and php.ini here. Inside the file you're gonna look for curl. Here it's not commented, so I'm able to do this. I am able to use curl. If it's commented, just remove this and you can use it. Okay, so let's create a new project here called a curl app. So atdocs projects curl app. Okay, I'll open it and create an index.php file. Okay, let's make sure it's working. Here, it's working. Okay, so the first step I'm gonna take here is create a folder called classes. And inside this folder, I'm gonna create a file called curl.php. Okay, here we're gonna start PHP tags and start the class curl here. Let me import his PHP require okay, it's imported here, and I'm gonna create a new folder called config.php, and we're gonna save some constants here. So constants.php. Here we're gonna start our tag first and create a new constant called API URL. Okay, so let's take the URL here and save it. I'll save it here and the constant and import our config file. So oh, sorry. Okay, it's already imported. So if you look here, the documentation, the first function I have to use to start curl is curl init. So let's create it. The first method you're going to use is get. So let's create a new function here, the public static function get, and as argument we're going to use our endpoint to accessing the API. Okay, so here I have to define something. Our curl init, I'm gonna put it into a variable curl init. Here we're gonna use our constant API URL, our endpoint. Okay, so The second step is to set our options. Options are like settings. Okay, so to do this, we're going to use curl set options. The first argument is our curl, and the second argument is the option. We're going to set our method, so curl option underscore custom request. And the third method is the value, so get, our get method. Okay, the second option we're gonna use is return transfer. Return transfer is used to retrieve data from API, so you can get the body content. Curl set option, or curl option return transfer true. Now we can get the content. Now I have our result receives curl execute. So now the curl executor execute our curl. Return a JSON decode result true, because I want to work with arrays. Okay, so here I'm finding endpoint to get here. Copy this, and now we're gonna save it into a variable. Curl get our endpoint here. Now let me print this. Let's see if it worked. Right here, it worked. So if we access this, I have the same result. You see? Okay, so let's create a post request here. We have this endpoint, new public static function post. As first argument we have endpoint, and as a second argument we have data. So we're gonna post data at this endpoint. Okay, we have to copy this and change this value to post, because now we're gonna use a post method here. Let me think. Here, I have to set another option here. Curl option called post fields. So now we're gonna be able to post fields inside this endpoint here, but we have to use a JSON file. So a variable called JSON, you receive JSON encode, of your data, and we use it here. Okay, I won't use authentication methods, so we don't need to, but if you do, you have to do the same thing I will now. Curl set option, curl option HTTP header, and here use this content type application JSON content length str then from our JSON. And here, for example, if you have to use a token to authenticate, you have to use this concatenated with token. Okay, but we won't use it here. It doesn't have to authenticate, but now we know how to do this. Okay, so return receives curl execute or curl return. Sorry, result. Let's test it now. Here in the index, we change it to post. The endpoint posts. And let's create a array here. Here we're going to use our data, so user ID 3 title just a test completed. False. Okay, don't need this. Here the second argument data. Okay, so let's try this, and here we have our result. So it worked. You can use the same process to do our put method. So just change it to put and put. Here we're gonna use our ID, for example. Let's test it. Well, it didn't work. Oh, right. All right. Here, our put method. Now it worked. So let me think. Our delete method here, it's a little different. So I can copy this and use delete and delete here. We don't have to post fields. Okay, and okay, I'll let here return transfer because I want to know the result. If you worked, you will return something like that. You don't have a result usually, so let's try it. Have to use data here, delete. Have to use this as well. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so it worked. Now you are able to connect your PHP applications to any API using this curl. It's simple to use, not hard. I'm sorry I've made some mistakes during the video, but I hope you enjoyed the content. Hit the subscribe button, the like button. See you next class.